Well, thanks so much for checking out this video. We're talking about church online with Elwood. Elwood, how long we met each other years ago at the iMinistry conference, right?
That is correct. I believe it was 2 years ago. It had to be 2 years ago because they didn't have it this year. So
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So I'm really excited to talk about this. You're somebody that has been doing church online for a while, and obviously you've seen the ministry kind of start too, because you were doing ministry prior to church online even existing, and so it's kind of like you see the changes. So right off the bat, how old is your church, and how long have you guys been doing church online?
Okay, so we're 60. Church is 16 years old.
Young church.
Yeah. It's interesting enough. It was. This is going to sound funny, but when our pastor started, just like a lot of other churches did, the model was Willow Creek and Saddleback. Those were the. He said at one point he thought he was going to call it Saddle Black. So I was like, okay. So anyway,
oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Joke, inside joke. Anyway,
inside joke. No, we're talking to a church audience here.
Right. That's true. So we just, that's kind of how I got started. But yeah, so we've been doing church online since late 2010, early 2011 is when we actually started. So that was the fun start of launching something new.
Yeah. So quite a while though, doing the church online stuff. So we asked this church, we asked this question to kind of help give perspective for people, because it's all the time. It's really much, it's like, well, my church is 100. Should we really be doing this? And so my question is, based off what you guys do, how big is your church locally?
Yeah, so the local church, not including iCampus or church online, it's about 4,000, 5,000, just depends on the numbers. So, that's where we're excited about what God's doing. So I think we have 3 locations. So right now. So.
Wow. So So, and then how much time do you get to focus on church online yourself?
That is about 90% of my time
spent
on church online. Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. So, and did you start 90%, or was it kind of this thing that you kind of like slowly were investing time over the years?
You mean in 2010 when we started?
Yeah.
So when we started, part of it was just casting vision for it, and by then they kind of knew me. I'm kind of an entrepreneur, and so as Pastor Keith was like, well, yeah, go ahead and do your thing. It was kind of like multisite was the same thing. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, do your thing, and then things started happening and it became more of a mainstream thing. I mean, so I'm glad he had he believed in the vision for that piece enough to push forward. But yeah, so that's kind of. So in the beginning, I was still the multi-site pastor as well as a church online pastor.
Oh, wow.
But now I'm, in the last, I'd say 3 years, it's transitioned to just, it needs full-time attention.
Yeah. So this is like a bonus question, but you did youth ministry prior. Okay. Did anything in youth ministry help you with online ministry is my question. That's just a random throw out question. I'm curious.
Yeah, that's a good question. Other than leading a team, I think that's the part that probably you can transition that to anything. But leading a team was probably the big piece. I learned to lead. I love building teams. So I learned some hard knocks from youth ministry building teams. And then, now it's kind of smoothed out a whole lot more. So,
yeah. That's the other thing I think about with youth ministry is you tend to have to be, at least it seems like in the last 10 years, you have to be super digitally savvy to keep up with what people, because even like, I was just talking to somebody else was telling me this, how there's like a new app, a house party app, where it's like a video conference call, and it's funny because it's like a red cup, kind of like a beer cup thing, and like from a house party. But what it is, you text everybody a link, and everybody, like 6 people can jump on one video call on your phone.
That's cool.
And so,
That's
yeah,
cool.
it's a cool idea. So I was thinking, oh, for online groups or with anything, like, but it's like a version of chat roulette, but in Snapchat all rolled into one, it's, and people just being goofy. But it's like, how to know as a youth pastor, you kind of have to just be in the world, seeing what they're texting and what they're doing. It's just changing so much. I think that's another trait youth pastors.
Oh, you got to have that. Yeah. I think today, if you were a youth pastor transitioning to church online, it would have a huge benefit because of the digital part of it. It's so much, you learn a lot actually. So trying to hang around young people, I'm still learning. So.
Well, okay. So with your guys' church online, what is your guys' primary goal? Is it local? Is it global? Or is it a little bit of both?
So ours is global. Something we're doing unique, Jay, that I think it's unique anyway. And we decided that we would start online experiences for each of our local campuses. So it's going to be, and I don't have enough time to explain it all, but and I'd share it with anybody. It's still a pretty raw vision. But I felt like right now, if you look at most businesses right now, they live in an online offline world. That's kind of how they live. They blend the two very well. And so I feel like, church online, our goal was to go after the globe, really not as much local. And each of these campuses, these sites, the philosophy is built around the local campus, that even the online presence for those campuses are built around the local campus. It's not built around going after the globe. So we could talk more about that at some point, but so we're diving into that, and that's exciting. We're just trying to figure out how to set the boundaries for it so the two work together and not against each other.
Well, I definitely am curious because I'm assuming that's going to be part of your guys' funnel.
Right.
So let me ask you this question, then we'll dive into that is, okay. So what platform do you use to host your online? And then if you do any live streaming, who do you use for live streaming?
Yeah, so we do. So the platform we use is Chop. We use Church Online platform.
Chop. I love that. I love how it gets cut down to that, chopped. It's just great.
Well, I remember the first time I heard it, I didn't know what it meant. And that was the very first time I heard it, I was like, Chop.
I just like that. I didn't know what it was. Like, I think it was actually at the iMinistry conference because I don't use Chop myself. And people are like, yeah, Chop, man, you hear about the new Chop feature? And I'm like, are you watching Food Channel show? Like, what are you talking about? I don't know what's going on. But, okay. So the church online platform. And then who do you use for live streaming if you do that?
We use Lightcast Media right now. So so they've been good. We're looking at a couple others though. We're looking at one or two others. We have used also Media Social as a secondary platform as well in the past. So.
Okay. And then, so let's dive into this. And I'm curious, and you can answer this based off either what you're doing currently or what you're moving towards. It's kind of, I know I have found, especially doing some of these interviews, that people doing church online are kind of always adjusting and messing with their funnel based off of, what's working, which is a good thing. But what is your crowd to core strategy? What does it look like? Especially, this because, purpose-driven, strategy, but what does it look like for a new person to go all the way down to becoming, in the core and eventually going out being commissioned?
Yeah. So the new person, our first thing is for us is on course online, as people come to our site or however they connect to us, for us is gathering data. I mean, if we can gather information about you, something about you, it helps us to stay in communication, to build meaningful dialogue with you at some point. So our goal really is to build meaningful dialogue and then to invite you into taking the next step. The next step would be small groups. It could be serving. Our preference is small group, but we just want to get you connected in a community. That's our big thing, because I feel like there's people hanging out here, you don't really know who they are. You don't know what they're going through. And so they go from either this form they fill out or some interaction they have in chat or prayer that helps that they're led to a next step. And that, again, the next step could be small groups. It could be giving your life to Christ. It just depends on where they are. And then so they go into, we have an email campaign that we do with these folks using AutoPilot is what we use.
Oh, cool.
So,
Yeah. I haven't heard
yeah.
anybody using AutoPilot. I've tested it a couple times. That's awesome.
Yeah, Jennifer recommended. We like it, so
Yeah.
so far it's good. So that's been helping us to help these folks take a next step, in their spiritual journey. And so once that happens, then of course we want to get them serving their life's mission after that. So the big thing right now, though, for us is getting people into community, just into community. I fight for that one. Get them in. Let's get them into communities. So we are doing something new. Brett Eastman. I think Okay, yeah. So so Brett and I are going to be working on these conversational messages, which
the group things. I've seen those. He's talked to me about it too.
Yeah, so we're gonna, something we wanted to do 3 years ago, but we didn't know anybody who was doing it, and we were trying to figure it out, and we didn't have the bandwidth to do it. So we're gonna work together to start with these conversational pieces to help to move people to conversational groups. We wanted to create a unique experience for iCampus, for Church Online, that was more like the setting you were in. That was our goal, and so that's what we're working towards this year, is creating an experience that is more like the setting you're in, and then helping you go from of course, your living room to a group of people who you connect with in your community or online. Our strategy is both online and in in-person community. So it's both ways. We ultimately like to get you into an in-person community. Yeah. But we're okay with the person who, I lead an online small group, men's online small group, and people are in different parts of the world. So it's okay. It's great. People still, we still connect with each other throughout the week. Yeah.
What platform, how do you do that in your context?
We use Zoom. We have a bunch of Zoom accounts.
So you buy a bunch of Zoom accounts essentially, and then, which is smart. That makes sense.
Yeah. It's just, I think Zoom is probably the most progressive, at least app that I've seen for video conferencing, in terms of they have breakout rooms. You can literally, we have groups sometime and we'll have we'll break out, where the discussion happens there, then we come back together. So that is amazing. That's a good tool.
Yeah. So how does these experiences that you guys are working on fit into it? What does that look like?
Yeah. So for us, it really is. So meet, grow, and serve is kind of our mantra. We want to help people to meet God, grow close to Him, and serve Him. And we feel like, you can meet God in a lot of ways, a lot of places, but we want to help people to do that. That's kind of that'd be the outside of the that's where the crowd is. And, again, groups is going to be more moving towards the center. And of course, doing your life's mission and serving for us is really kind of the core, or leadership is kind of the core for us in helping people to move that. And those steps happen. Again, we use whatever we can to get you to, as long as it's not a sin, or, we're not doing something against God. We use whatever we can to get you as a crowd, so we can, I want to know at least a name and an email. Yeah. So that we can continue our communication. So I don't know if I answered your question well enough or not, but
no. So is the thought with some of this online activity are you having conversations with the multi-site? Maybe there's a way this can influence multi-site?
Yeah. So here's the thing. We have online has a lot of local people as well. We have a lot of people who are literally in they live in the same areas that these other locations are in. And but they get the messaging, they get the campus pastor, basically they get me. And we're going to transition that to where they actually will see that experience as a whole. So they will see that campus pastor online, not me. Yeah. And so that connects them to their process of in that particular location. So their small groups, their announcements, whatever is going on at their location, because each location is tweaked a little differently. So we want you to see the experience that's happening where you're about to go.
Yeah.
before you go there. And then when you're there, what I'm working towards is them being able to, the audience that's sitting there, able to interact with the audience that is online locally.
Okay.
So with chat, with whatever it is, our goal really is to kind of blend the two so that it almost feels like we're very connected. Like I could chat with somebody who's online watching the same service I am.
Yeah.
They're watching that particular service. So something we're exploring. It may be a flop, Jay, honestly, you know,
No, but that's
experiment, you know. So.
I can't tell you, like, it's so funny when people come to me and ask me about like stuff like online groups. I can't tell you how many versions of online groups we've done.
Right.
Like we're not even using, like I was talking to somebody yesterday from a church, and I was like, yeah, we used to have our own online group system. We don't anymore because it didn't work. Well, now we just tell people to use Zoom or whatever. And it's just like, we've gone through so many versions. And I think that's the beauty of online, is that you can so easily reboot. It's just like, oh, that didn't work. You pivot. And, you know, we've been doing, these home gatherings, extension stuff, and we've pivoted our strategy 3 times in the last 2.5 years. And it's like, nope. So it's just one of those things. It's like, you know, I think that's the beauty of the, there's a lot of space because there's so many, like AutoPilot. That tool, AutoPilot, is an amazing tool. It's pretty robust, and it's like, well, now, like I actually just this week I downloaded Wirecast.
Yeah.
You know, it's a fairly expensive program. It's not cheap, so it's like $500 to download it. And I'm sitting here this week watching tutorials, trying to figure out, okay, I think I can figure this out. But like I did a call for some groups in the San Francisco area, and I tried to broadcast the call in a private Facebook group using Wirecast, and it failed. It didn't work. I didn't do it right.
Oh,
so
wow.
but that's the thing is, I'm just trying to figure it out. So like, it was like, okay, well, I think I figured it out now, but it's such a good model to be trying new things. You know, you don't want to be trying new things all the time, but it's definitely a good paradigm, especially with online culture.
Well, it's good to hear you say that. Sometimes I feel like I'm like the guy who's trying new stuff, and people are looking at me like, so why are you doing that again now?
Have you guys used any of the texting integration with AutoPilot by any chance, or are you doing it all email right now?
It's email and still some personal interaction. So it'll filter something to Ashton, and then she'll respond, and then it goes back into the AutoPilot system. So wherever we want a personal touch, if we want it, it'll shoot that person an email whenever it gets to that stage. And then she puts it back in the process when she's done. So we're still figuring it out. Honestly, Jennifer's been a blessing to us. She's been really helpful. She's just been working with us really, really well. Cause there's a lot of stuff about marketing, you can't be good at everything. And I kind of want to know everything, but can't be good at everything.
Yeah. So. And that's Jennifer Miles, right? Jennifer.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Jennifer Miles.
Jennifer Miles. Jennifer Miles is definitely she's part of. If you're watching this, if you're not part of the online practitioner, like it's kind of the church online pastors group. She's in that group. She does a lot of stuff in there. She does a lot of coaching and stuff, and helps with Google Ads and different things. Very intelligent. She's doing it. She did it for Life. She did it for Life Church, which are the biggest. And so she's now no longer doing it there, and so now she helps other churches. So definitely somebody to ping. So my last question is, what's the tool that you have now for Church Online that you wish you had when you started?
It would be, I'll break the rules. If we could be 2 tools, it'd be Chop and Zoom. Yeah. Those would be the tools I would, when we started, we had a custom platform. We paid for every change we made, so. Yeah.
How was it hosted? Was it just like a WordPress thing, or was it like
No. I mean, it was, it was custom built. He set up all the hosting. He set it all up for us. I can't even remember Steve's last name now, but anyway, he was in Charlotte. And he set up even the third-party tools, you know, the chat, the live prayer. Chat was done through chat.
Roulette,
right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Or chat roll, one of them.
Chat roll. We switched to chat roll later, which was a paid account. You know, so that's what we used originally, and it was fine. It was an expensive way to start, more expensive way to start, because you could start for free. Well, you could start free with the platform anyway.
Yeah.
Today, so yeah.
People love custom, man. People love it's
right.
There's the pains. We definitely love our custom system, and it's definitely a pull, because you can get way more features if you have more people using it. And so, but
I agree.
Oh man. Well,
we're looking to move to custom too. We're looking to.
Oh,
we're still
really?
thinking about. Yeah, we're still thinking about doing. There's just so many things we want to do, and I hate to. I don't like wait. I'm impatient. I don't like waiting on them to be done if they're going to be done, and I don't like. Don't take this wrong, anybody who's watching this. I just don't like looking like everybody else. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody doesn't want to look the same. You know, people start thinking you're all the same. We're all different. You know, we're all unique. And God made us that way for a reason. So,
well, it definitely, the variable that I don't think that it's the tug and pull between, especially when you start having, when you're starting having large audiences watching on that page, and you start having, I would say, more like giving to that page, you have more opportunity to make it unique, and you know your community, because you're like, I know a big thing for us is I want to have more of a custom experience based off if you're new or a veteran person. Like I want to be able to like have that person, a new person, you know, maybe have this, and then like a veteran person have this. I want like, and one of the things like we're messing with is like maybe like one thing that we are doing right now with the build that we're doing is like, okay, when the video ends, can we do like an auto recommendation of another video, almost like a Netflix, you know, or like preferences, like can we have like internationally preference of audio, but like versus video, but like those are the things that you only, you know, because you've been doing it for a while, but and I know because I've been doing it for a while, what our community wants or what would really, but you know, the Chop platform is really there to help all churches, you know, jump on and start doing it. And it makes sense for 95%, but the 5% that are kind of maybe, you know, really tinkering with some next level stuff, you know, that's where it gets a little hard. I definitely would jump on Chop if I've helped, you know, 10 churches get on Chop, because I'm like, no, don't build it yourself. Like Chop is amazing. It's the perfect.
Right. It is amazing. I don't want anybody to think I'm saying it's not amazing. It is amazing. It's just like you said, there's some things we want to do that we've tried, you know, customizing Chop, and it's easier for us to start from a build and do it ourselves. So we're looking at doing that.
Well, Elwood, thank you so much for just for your wisdom on this. It was really cool to hear what you guys are doing. I'm really excited with the AutoPilot stuff, that area, and then also these experience things. I'm definitely going to be watching what you guys are doing. So keep us in the loop, keep me in the loop specifically, because it's definitely something, the online to offline stuff, that I you know, I'm very passionate about, and I know some people are messing with it. I just saw our friend David, the Aussie guy from North Point. He was visiting a church who actually started by using the online service, and I just saw that on a Facebook post. I was like, oh wow, what's going on there? So there's so much there that's going on.
Changing every day.
Every day, man. Well, dude, thanks so much for hanging out, and until next time.
All right, man. Thanks for having me.